Und da sind wir wieder bei Wallace Gromit, Ride of the Bumblebee, mit mir, dem lieben Fudel, der sonnigsten Chor aller Zeiten, Lady Letty zu Choclinken und den grandiosen Thumbnails von der guten Karo Kitty, die auch einen wunderbaren Manga auf Animex zeichnet. Schaut mal rein. Also, wir geben Wallace seinen Toast.
Done to a turn. My compliments to the chef. Now that's what I call a breakfast feast. Wasn't so difficult, was it, lad? With a hearty plate of eggs and toast under me belt, I'm ready to take on the world. Gromit, I've a strange feeling this is the day our fortunes are going to change.
Morning, Wallace. May I have a word?
If it's about yesterday's little mishap.
Oh, no, you see...
I can assure you it was an accident, Mr. Pinner, and I'll certainly pay for the damage to your grocery shop. I was just putting the Sniffer 3000 through its paces. It's still only a prototype, you know.
Oh, I realize that, Mr. Wallace.
And what better place to test out a cheese detector than in a shop with such an excellent selection of cheeses?
Oh, Wallace.
But you'll still have to pay for the damage, I'm afraid.
Yes, of course. I'll put it all right. Though funds are, how can I put this, a little tight at the moment. Only until our new business is up and running.
Aye, well, that's what I'm here to talk about. I understand you and Gromit are in the honey business now.
Fresh deliveries daily, from bee to you.
Well, perhaps I can help you get on your feet. I'm having my annual sounding of the Crumpets Festival, and I'm clean out of honey. Can you deliver 50 gallons?
50 gallons?
By tonight?
Tonight?
It'll more than cancel your debt, and it'll be good advertising for you. What do you say?
I say...
Yes!
I say yes! We're in business, lad! Heads up, no time for slacking. From B to U has landed its first major order. 50 gallons of honey by tomorrow. I want this place to be a hive of activity. It's your chance to show the world what sort of workers you are. They're certainly buzzing with excitement. Or maybe they're hungry. Did you remember to feed them this morning, Gromit? Never mind, lad. I'll do it.
Ja. Womit füttert man Bienen denn?
The bees love my motivational posters. Nothing like an inspirational poster to boost worker productivity. For some reason, my boys aren't terribly fond of this
Weil
one.
da eine Biene ist, Alter. Okay, gucken wir uns mal weiter um. Da sind Blumen.
Flowers. The perfect meal for a hungry hive.
Ich liebe diese beiden. Nehmen wir das Radio auch
Remote
mit.
control for my Sniffer 3000. Too bad about the teething problems. Still, this might come in handy.
Na, das sind wir noch nicht. So, untersuchen. Braucht man nicht, denn wir geben den...
Bon appetit.
Okay.
Oh. Not exactly a flood, is it? Flowers, Gromit. That's the weak link in our production chain. We need more flowers.
Ach, für Honig braucht man wirklich mehr Blumen. Wo bekommen wir die her? Was haben wir denn hier?
Ah, there's the hatch from me rocket ship. Remember that moon holiday, Gromit?
Ich will da nicht drüber reden.
My workers are very devoted to their queen.
Ach, wie süß. So, hier unten haben wir alles, glaube ich, erkundet. Vielleicht auch nicht. Gehen wir mal raus.
Now where can I find a whole lot of flowers in a hurry?
Oh nein. Vielleicht Vorgarten.
Beautiful morning, Mr. Wallace. I'm pleased to see you've emerged from your subterranean lair.
Grün. Eine Gießkanne.
Watering makes flowers grow faster.
Though it works best if you've planted some first.
Genau. Drehen wir doch mal hier dran. Hup. Gucken wir mal in die Mülleimer.
No flowers in here.
So, fragen wir mal diese junge
Been
Dame.
doing a spot of gardening, have you, Miss Flit?
Working my green fingers to the bone. But the hard work appears to be paying off.
Indeed it does.
Blooms everywhere. I call it my purple paradise.
It certainly looks delicious. I mean, I imagine it would look delicious if you were an insect.
You mean if I were a bee?
Well, now you mention it,
You want to feed my flowers to your bees?
that is, if you don't mind,
How many would you like?
as many as you can spare.
Oh, you can have all you want, Mr. Wallace.
Das ist aber nett.
Oh, much obliged, Miss Flit.
Here, you can jolly well grow your own.
Righto.
Tja, nur wo pflanzen wir sie am besten hin? Nach unten sehen.
Awfully long drop.
Ah ja. Also ich habe nun mal die Demo gespielt und da konnte man nicht hier hinten lang. Sie hatte auch keine deutschen Untertitel, glaube ich. Mhm. Okay.
There's nothing growing here.
And whose fault is that? You had a garden, Wallace, but you razed it to the ground to feed your silly bees. Now, you're making eyes at mine across the fence. But you shan't be plucking any of my blooms. Kindly reserve your green fingers for number 62.
Tja, das wollen wir doch tun. Das ist das Eichhörnchen wieder, das den Tee hat.
There now. With hard work and a little luck, you should have a nice bed of flowers in 2 or 3 months.
Wir
I
brauchen
can't
bis
wait
heute.
2 or 3 months. I've got a deadline. This evening.
Ugh, you poor, simple man. Nothing grows that quickly.
I wonder. Rex Armstrong's quick grow muscle formula. Watch them sprout in seconds. If it works on people, perhaps I could adapt it to work on flowers. 3 miracle ingredients. Grow tea, energize, strongium. Well, I need a miracle, and fast. Shouldn't be too tricky to knock up a batch myself. Then we'll see who's got the grandest garden in West Wallaby Street. The hive will be humming in no time.
Tja, nur wo kriegen wir es her? Ihr Spiel fertig, was immer das bedeutet.
Caught you! Can't take an old soldier by surprise.
Morning, Major Crumb.
It is, if you don't mind enemy invasions.
I beg your pardon.
Didn't you get my message? Received intelligence of a major air assault. Expect the sirens to sound any minute. Hope you know where your nearest air raid shelter is.
I do recall something about that, but Major Crumb, are you sure you're not mistaken?
I know. I've made predictions before, but I'm not crying wolf. This time, I've got proof.
Mhm.
A jar?
It's what's inside the jar that counts. Incontrovertible evidence that the enemy is on the move.
Does it? I can only see a snail.
Of course it's a snail. But what's she trying to tell us? That's the important thing.
What is she trying to tell us?
Look at her, man. She's retreated into her shell in the middle of the day. And that means only one thing. It means she knows trouble is about to strike from the heavens. Law of nature, Wallace. Learned it in France during the war. Never wrong yet.
Dann nehmen wir die doch vielleicht mal mit.
Good man, Wallace. I see you at least appreciate the seriousness of the situation. Now spread the word. If people don't believe what an old soldier has to say, perhaps they'll listen to the snail.
Ja.
You're looking at my case, aren't you, Wallace?
Well, I suppose I was, Major.
Bet you'd like to know what's inside.
I am curious, yes.
Ha! This case is packed full of government-issue protein bars.
Routine.
Rations, Wallace. Emergency rations for... emergencies, obviously. Been stockpiling them since the war. Enough nutrition in them to feed a man under fire for a whole day.
And very tasty they look, too.
Tasty? They're foul, but packed with high-strength protein.
I'd love to try one.
Out of the question, I'm afraid. You don't have clearance. And besides, protein bars are only issued in the event of civil emergencies. Orders are orders, Wallace.
Okay, den brauchen wir aber nichtsdestotrotz.
Have you delivered the message? Have you shown them the snail?
I'm not sure the snail will convince them, Major Crumb.
If she doesn't, the air raid siren will. But by then, it may be too late.
Tja, dann zeigen wir doch mal die Snail an jemanden.
I don't think she'd appreciate that very much.
Ja, soll ihr ja auch nicht gefallen.
That flower hasn't bloomed yet.
I know it hasn't, the lazy thing. Oh, but the wait will be worth it.
Oh,
This flower will be the pièce de résistance of my purple paradise.
Das Purple
And the
Paradise.
scent, absolutement heavenly. I'm simply mad about the purple pansy.
Kommentar. Nochmal mit ihr reden.
Have you noticed? I put a new roof on Mr. Nutter's house.
Mr. Nutter?
Surely you're acquainted with our neighbour, Mr. Nutter, the squirrel.
I'm not on first name terms with any of the neighborhood animals, I'm afraid.
What about Gromit?
Oh, no, he isn't either. I don't think she'd appreciate that very much.
Mhm. Sagen wir ihr doch mal.
I realize this may seem a trifle irregular, but Major Crumb insisted I show you this. It's... oh.
A snail? In my garden? Have you lost your mind, Wallace?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
You've come buzzing back, Mr. Wallace. As a bee to a blossom, eh?
Oh, das wollte ich natürlich nicht. Oh, ein Schuppen.
I wonder where Major Crumb disappeared to.
Stimmt, ins Wohnzimmer vielleicht? Also ins Frühstücks. Hier rein auf jeden Fall. Wo kann man sein? Ziel.
I'm afraid my bees don't go for silicon flowers.
Tja. Tja.
I must be up already.
Ja. Ist bestimmt runtergegangen.
Wallace, thank heavens you made it to the shelter. I'd given you up for lost. Caught in the crossfire, were you?
So ungefähr.
Stop pacing about, Wallace. You're making the rest of the men nervous. You've got to get your mind off the carnage up there. Would you like to hear one of my old war stories? I'd help pass the time.
Well, I hate to...
Of course you would. I brought visual aids.
Bildmaterial.
Pardon me, Major. About those protein bars of yours.
Rations, Wallace. Emergency rations for... emergencies, obviously. Been stockpiling them since the war. Enough nutrition in them to feed a man.
Ja, das haben wir schon gehört.
All day.
And very tasty they look too.
Tasty? They're foul, but packed with high-strength protein.
I'd love to try one.
Out of the question, I'm afraid. You don't have clearance. And besides, protein bars are only issued in the event of civil emergencies. Orders are orders, Wallace. By George, this is an emergency. Private Gromit! I hereby issue you one protein bar. Guard it well, and see that it lasts you all day. Wallace, here's one for you as well.
Much obliged.
So. Da müssen wir natürlich auch mal...
Now, there's a sight.
That's me posing with Mother next to my 40mm Bofors. Look at the size of that monster. Big Betty, we called her. The gun, not my mother. I could have stayed.
Who's that fellow?
That's me as a young recruit, off to basic training. How I cried when they cut off my golden curls. But I cheered up as soon as they issued me with a beautiful set of dog tags. Dashed useful dog tags. If you happen to forget your rank or name, you've got it right there. Never go into battle without your dog tags, Wallace.
Gut. Aber die dritte Geschichte hören wir uns im nächsten Part an, wenn es wieder heißt Wallace Gromit, mit mir dem Pudel der sonnigsten Chor aller Zeiten und Lady Letty zu Chocklington. Also, bis dann.